Good evening, I'm Jessica Djukic. Governor Tony Evers traveled to Wausau today to expand the access of health care. The governor signed 5 bipartisan bills to improve access to dental care. The bill signing was held at North Central Technical College to make access to dental care more attainable, especially in rural areas. The 2019-2021 budget signed by Governor Evers provided an additional $2 million for the DHS oral health program, including $1.2 million to increase funding for dental clinics that serve low-income patients. The new bills signed by Governor Evers will help improve the ability of technical colleges across the state to support and strengthen the dental and oral hygiene workforce. The bills will also authorize the licensure of dental therapists who are healthcare providers who may engage in the limited practice of dentistry. The U.S. House of Representatives passed a $78 billion tax package with bipartisan support on Wednesday. The Tax Relief for American Families and Workers Act of 2024 was passed in the Republican-led House. Wisconsin's Republican Assembly leader is downplaying pressure he's receiving from former President Donald Trump and fellow GOP lawmakers to impeach the nonpartisan elections administrator. Today, Assembly Speaker Robin Vos spoke out about Republicans trying to oust State Elections Administrator Megan Wolf. The Senate voted last month to fire Wolf, but later admitted the vote was symbolic and had no legal effect. A group led by election conspiracy theorists launched a 6-figure TV ad campaign last month threatening to unseat Vos if he did not proceed with impeachment. Vos says they're not going to vote on impeachment anytime soon. Vos has previously said he supports removing Wolf, but he wanted to first see how a lawsuit filed on her behalf to keep her in the job plays out. The Assembly can only vote to impeach state officials for corrupt conduct in office or for committing a crime or misdemeanor. Nearly $6 million in grants will go to Wisconsin businesses in order to cut energy costs. The money was made possible through the Inflation Reduction Act. Senator Tammy Baldwin helped deliver the grants, which are through the Rural Energy for America program. Grants include $100,000 for the Tomahawk Terminals Company to install solar panels. Those panels will create enough energy to power 9 homes. Then in Wausau, around $150,000 will help a hotel operation make efficiency improvements to the elevator system, which is expected to save the company $50,000 a year. Freedom is one of the principles this country is founded. Unfortunately, that hasn't always applied to everyone. Until 1978, Native people were prohibited from honoring their traditions, speaking their language, and even practicing their religion. Now, tribal members are reviving those practices and celebrations. Dan, tonight, students and parents are coming back to school for an informational meeting. They'll have a chance to ask questions about last month's incident. On March 14th, the district was evacuated after students and staff started experiencing a sudden illness. Right now, the snow's tapering off, but roads are still very slick. Anyone leaving work and heading home should take it very slow on the roads. The community coming out to Mercy Park tonight to show their love and support for 2 victims of domestic violence. 27-year-old Taylor Shutt and 2-year-old Clessie Crawford were killed over the weekend. The city of Carterville broke ground on its 2nd water well. This new water well is a permanent fix after residents were without water for 8 days last February. You'll see blue pinwheels popping up throughout Joplin. They reflect the happy childhood that all children deserve. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Getting a mammogram early can save lives. In tonight's edition of Feel Great Today, we'll explain what a mammogram is and what can increase your risk for breast cancer.
Feel Great Today with Jessica Djukic.
A mammogram is like an X-ray image used to detect breast cancer.
Melissa Coyne-Gitter is an advanced practice nurse practitioner at the Aspirus Tomahawk Clinic. She says people should begin scheduling mammograms between 40 and 49 years old, depending on risk factors.
One is age. The risks go up. Family history is important. Also, dense breast. It's important to have a mammogram early so that can be detected early. Again, going back to diet, it's important to have a healthy diet free of preservatives and a lot of fat. Charred foods can also increase the risk of breast cancer, as well as alcohol and tobacco use.
Coyne-Gitter says people should mention concerns to their primary care provider.
Breast changes of concern might be skin texture changes, lumps, pain, nipple discharge, anything different, that you're noticing on your own, which is important to really know your own body, your own breast tissue.
If you have a mammogram scheduled, do not wear deodorant or lotion because it can lead to a false positive.
If there's something detected on the first mammogram, you may go on to have an additional mammogram or an ultrasound. So that would be followed up on. It's important to screen for early breast cancer so that it can be treated.
With winter arriving soon, she says getting vitamin D supplements or sunlight can lower your risk.
A healthy vitamin D level has been shown to prevent breast cancer. If you could get at least 15 to 30 minutes of sun on your skin throughout the day, that helps with your vitamin D.
A baby's first pediatrician visit happens within the first 2 to 4 days after they're born. In tonight's edition of Feel Great Today, we'll hear what parents should expect during that first visit.
Feel Great Today with Jessica Djukic.
The primary thing, frankly, is are they eating well? Because that's the most energy intensive and difficult thing that they're doing in their life.
Dr. Paul Fishbook is a pediatrician at the Aspirus Rhinelander Pediatric Clinic. During the first visit, he checks to see if the baby is eating well and if there are any issues with breastfeeding or formula.
We're just wanting to make sure you're not noticing any unusual feeding behaviors, like your baby's sweating like they ran a marathon with every feed, for example. And then also that your baby's not losing too much weight too quickly, because that indicates something's not going well.
Dr. Fishbook says babies should gain about an ounce of weight a day within the first 2 weeks.
A baby can't go more than maybe 4 hours at the maximum without eating. Otherwise, their blood sugar will start to tank. So if you're saying your newborn baby slept 6 hours, that's a horrifying thing for me to hear, because that, to me, signals something is going very wrong.
He says babies will eat about 8 times in a 24-hour period and will sleep in 2-hour intervals.
You're basically going to be kind of on call for your baby, so you don't really have a schedule. Your baby gets to be the boss. So let's say your baby wakes up and they're hungry, because you should assume that they are. You would feed them, and that will take anywhere between 5 and 20 minutes.
If you notice your baby is having issues breastfeeding, Aspirus has a lactation consultant that can help.
We're lucky enough where we have someone that is lactation certified, and ideally they like to observe a feed, and if they see something, they'll intervene right then, and they have a really high success rate.